how did you develop that reading culture? How and when?
It goes back a long ways in some, if you really think about it. When I was about 7 years old, I was growing up in a small town in the deep north of Nigeria, a town that is now capital of Zamfara state. It's called Uzo. And I went to a Catholic school run by American priests of the Dominican order. I was an altar boy, and every morning at 5:30 I would be there to serve at Mass and all of that. And there was a deep interest in my growing up in those priests. And one of the things they did was give me lots of books. When we had all kinds of competitions amongst altar boys, the gift was always a book. And I won many of those competitions and got the book. John F. Kennedy was president of the United States. And so I got fed a whole dose of Kennedy mystique. So if there was a book on Kennedy, they were sure to give it to me. 7 years, 8 years, I was reading those kinds of books. At 8, I was reading books that 20-something-year-olds would typically read and older.
Which books have had the greatest impact on you?
That I have read?
Yes, that you read.
Ooh, you'll be amazed the books that impact you. Well, first, Stephen Covey's books had Stephen R. Covey, profound.
Seven Habits of
Highly Effective People, Principle-Centered Leadership, the 8 Habit. His books have had tremendous impact on me. I've read the John Maxwell series on leadership. Even my dear friend, the now late Miles Monroe, I've read his books. They've all been very meaningful. But one of the books that had the most profound impact on me, and you will be surprised, is an autobiography of a fiction writer. Strange. John Updike's Self-Consciousness. John Updike was seen as a chronicler of Middle America. His novels captured emerging middle class in America. A Rabbit series, Rabbit is Rich, Rabbit, and so he wrote Self-Consciousness. And I read Self-Consciousness in 1991. And it made me so self-conscious. It really affected the way that I looked at things and did things. But I have also been profoundly impacted by the biographies or autobiographies, memoirs of Lee Kuan Yew, which I remember when, in the early days of the civilian government in '99, I used to lead the cabinet retreats for the Lagos State government. And one day I said to the then governor of Lagos State, Senator Bola Tinubu, said to him, "You must read this book. You need to read it as either a source of learning or a source of punishment."
That's from Third World to...
Yes. First to the first, Third World to the first, the Singapore story. And so one day he was waving, he said, I'm reading it. I said, okay, I hope it's not punishment. So, but from a point of policy analysis, and there have been a number of really profoundly impactful books. I was enormously affected by Douglas North's 1990 book, Institutions, Institutional Change and Economic Performance. Douglas North won a Nobel Prize in economics for his work, but the book on institutions, the 1990 book, was so profound in showing how institutions really affect human progress. Just like, interestingly, the volume that was edited by Lawrence Harrison and Samuel P. Huntington Jr., Culture Matters, How Values Shape Human Progress, was the critical definer of the way that I saw the place of values in how people make progress or countries make progress. There are people who have argued between culture and institutions. Hernando de Soto, in his really remarkable book too, The Mystery of Capital, argues against culture and strongly for institutions. I try to integrate both in my book, Why Nations Are Poor. I believe and I try to show that both culture and institutions are critical for how people make progress.
Prof, thank you very much. Let me finally ask you to please read from your book, The Art of Leading. Any part you would like to read.
Clarity of vision. The vision needs to be made clear because many others are unlikely to see it as well as the visionary does see it. So it needs to be made clearer so others can understand and own it. This process of clarifying the vision essentially involves gathering more information around the subject of the vision. The information locks in with the imagination, and the legendary hands of the vision begin to be more visible. Here is where to interrogate the nature of the communications process with the understanding that transmitted communication does not arrive with the intended fidelity and achieve the desired transfer of meaning all the time. Noises in the channel and semantic noise where the physical communication is okay can cause different meanings to be drawn, and this is part of the problem. An understanding of both the intrapersonal and interpersonal as well as mass communication models required for a leader so his vision can become a shared one is critical.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed today's show. Please join us on any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. I am Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.